This is Heartrepreneur Radio, maximizing your personal and business results by leading with your heart. With your host, Terri Levine. Listen every week as Terri tackles the topics that will help you become a successful heart-centered entrepreneur. Be sure to read the blog posts at www.heartrepreneur.com/blog. Come back often and add this show to your favorite RSS feed or subscribe in iTunes. You can also follow Terri on Twitter at MentorTerri and on Facebook.com/Heartrepreneur Terri Levine. And now here's Terri.
Welcome back. It's Terri Levine here from Heartrepreneur Radio, Heartrepreneur TV, and just want to put a word out there that really showed up for me today. And the word is the word peace. And some people think peace is P-E-A-C-E. I'm actually going to give you the word peace, P-I-E-C-E. You come here to get a piece of something that you specifically need to hear from one of the amazing guests that I have. So I'm going to encourage you as you listen today to listen for what is that piece that you're here to get, because I know it will be revealed in this interview. So we're looking at business today, and CEOs are always recovering from any cash is king. And we are in a state in our economy all the time where we need a speedy recovery. We always need to find a way to have more customers, bring more customers back to our business. And any cash is not necessarily king, according to my guest, which I really want to delve into that today. She says, unless CEOs have a set strategy and a plan for being the first to the recovery market, their companies lose, but they don't have to lose. To stand by, because she's going to reveal that with some good news today. In fact, what she says, and we'll delve into this, is that they can grab a larger share of the recovery market just by applying some hints, tips, and tricks and actionable recovery strategies that she has. So who's my guest? My guest is Karen Hayward. She is a national best-selling author and international speaker, and I can't wait to delve into some of these tricks and tips. Karen, welcome to Heartrepreneur Radio and TV.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be with you this morning.
I'm actually really excited to have our conversation because, as I've been in business for 40-something years, there always is something that happens. It's like a cyclical thing. One day it's the dot-com crash. Another day it's the stock market crash. There's just so many different things that have happened in the world. And, then a CEO sets about to recover, as you say, which I really like. Where is this philosophy of any cash is king? Where is that heading people?
When I started thinking about the topic, it was really that many CEOs focus their energy on running their business. And when you think about growing a business, you have to have a different mindset. And the mindset is all about looking outside the window, right? So when you're running your company, it's like a bicycle, right? You're bicycling harder and harder and harder, and you're doing that within the context and the confines of your business. When you think about growing a company, you have to look outside the window. And you alluded to a lot of those things that happen when you look outside the window, right? The economy, regulatory issues. But there are other things like your competitors, and they're not sitting still. And so you have to be looking outside the window, figuring out how you can recover quicker, recover faster, how you can position yourself better, and what market opportunities can you take advantage of. So I liken it to, in the bicycle metaphor, adding a gear to your bike.
By the way, I like that bicycle metaphor. I've never heard that before, and I really, really like that. I'm sort of curious, what has been your journey? What has led you to be in a position where you're helping people with these tools and strategies? What's your journey been like, Karen?
Well, I'm a Canadian. Grew up in Montreal and moved to Toronto and had my business career.
If you have any challenges in your business and you want some business advice and help, we're here to do a customized blueprint to help you overcome your biggest business challenge. Send an email right now to Terri, Terri, at Terri Levine, Levine, and we will tell you how to get your customized business blueprint. We are truly here to help you.
And I look at my journey in three parts. There was sort of growing up in Montreal, and then having my business career in Toronto with Xerox Canada for 20 years. Went from sales rep to vice president of marketing. And then I quit. And I decided I needed a bigger pond. So I moved to the United States and settled in Silicon Valley. And then the next 15 or so years of my career was all around working for mid-market companies and startups. And then I got to the point we had sold the last company I was working for, and I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to take everything I've learned and figure out how to right-size it for the SMB market. All the best practices I learned at Xerox Canada, all of the mistakes I made in startups and you know, in the subsequent companies I worked for, and how do you take that learning and kind of package it up in a way that doesn't cost a lot of money, that CEOs can take and apply to their companies.
I love that. Yeah, our backgrounds are similar in terms of taking all that past experience and then saying, okay, now how can I take it in a way that can help and serve other people? I agree with that. What do you find is the number one problem, issue, challenge that CEOs have? Like, what keeps them up at night in your experience?
Well, I think, there are a couple of things I could answer to that question, but I'm going to start with the one that I'm probably most passionate about. And that's, you know, these entrepreneurs started their business because they had some kind of insight. And there was some kind of niche they could fill in the marketplace. And then things evolve and they grow by referral, typically, you know, for sure if it's a B2B, but, and then they sort of get stuck at a revenue level. And it's breaking through, whether it's, you know, 3 million to 5 million, 5 to 10, 50 to 100. But they tend to sort of plateau because what got you there isn't going to get you to the next level. And then they start doing random acts of marketing. And it's, we'll try this, we'll try that. And then they get frustrated because they can't quantify their investments the way, you know, you want to be able to do as a business leader. And then they tend to have an over-reliance on sales because that's very quantifiable. And in today's market, the buyer's journey is done much more digitally. So turning to sales at a time when you really ought to be investing in marketing and digitally in a very quantifiable way is really the road to success. So the biggest issue I see is random acts of marketing.
I like how you phrase it, random acts of marketing. Sometimes I have said to my client family members, stop throwing spaghetti against the wall. You know, if you ever heard that, you throw spaghetti and if it's al dente, it sticks to the wall, you know it's done. And I see people just doing everything. It's like, oh, somebody's blogging, so I should blog. Somebody's podcasting, so I should podcast. People are spending money on Facebook ads, so I should probably do that. And I guess the word of advice that I say more than anything is just stop. Take a moment and let's do some smart marketing. I like how you talked about the random acts of marketing. That is an issue that I also see is people are doing marketing and they're not keeping their eye on their return on investment. So what do you have to say about how to help them focus to make sure they're getting an ROI?
Well, you know, it really starts by thinking about how do you build your commercial engine? And I would say your commercial engine has 3 gears. And I'm going to start with the third gear, the last gear, and that's execution. It's all of those things that you do in the marketplace to drive leads and activity and purchase. So it's your website, it's public relations, it's your logo, it's your lead generation, it's sales collateral, it's your social media. But all of that is supported by a strategy, or should be supported by a strategy. And your strategy is really, What are your offerings? What are your distribution channels? How are you differentiated? How are you market positioning? What's your pricing? What's your market segmentation? What's your messaging? And all of that, your strategy is supported by insight. And this is the biggest gear that entrepreneurs miss. It's the insight. It's why do we exist? What is special about our company? What are our strengths that we can leverage into the marketplace? What do we know about our customers? How much customer intimacy do we have? And what do we know about our competitors? And what opportunities lie in the competitive space? And you have to think about it. Your competitors are changing all the time. And yet we don't take enough time to look at the market insights that really inform the strategy, that drive really good execution. Because they all start on execution, it's not backed up with the strategy and the insights. So the ROI is random.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I think that it's very interesting. People seem to want to do action items. You just like, give me the action item. Let me go do the action item.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you said. They're doing all of this without a strategy and without a plan. I think it's costing them a lot of time, a lot of energy, and more importantly, a lot of money, while their competitors who are doing the research are gaining market share. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I think, they get frustrated. When we go in to work with a CEO, it's not because everything's going well. They're frustrated, and they say, we tried this and we tried that, and marketing doesn't work in our business, and our business is different. And no, they're not different.
Yeah,
they're all the same.
I see it
all the same.
They are all the same. I love when people say to me, well, either my business is different or we've already tried that. So, I was chatting with somebody, I guess a couple of weeks ago, and they said, oh, Facebook ads don't work. And I said, really? And they said, yeah, we tried them and they didn't work. And I said, what if you didn't do it correctly? What if you got to the wrong audience? What if it wasn't the right ad? What if it wasn't the right message? What? So that's very interesting. How would you handle someone who said, for example, okay, we tried Facebook ads, they don't work. Karen, next, what would you say?
Well, I would say, let's just go back and figure out what's the goal. I would take people back to the goal. Well, what are we trying to do here? Who are we trying to get to? Do we understand our ideal customer? Okay, lots of companies, by the way, spend, I think I just saw a statistic, 50% of their time, their sales force is trying to sell to the wrong customer.
Wow.
So taking the time to ask the CEO, well, who is your customer?
Is your business struggling? You want more leads, you want to convert leads more easily, you want more revenues, more profits. Whatever your biggest business challenge is, we're here to help you. We have a proprietary proven process that's guaranteed here at Heartrepreneur to help you increase your revenues and profits. And we have the ability to help you overcome your biggest business challenge. Simply send us an email to Terri, Terri, at Terri Levine, Levine.com, and we will show you how we can help you overcome your biggest business problem by doing a customized blueprint just for you. Whatever your problem or challenge is, stop struggling, stop the frustration. Let us help you so that you can have more money, more freedom, and more free time in your business. Do it now. Send the email now.
Okay, good. Let's go find out where those customers hang out. Oh, they're all on Facebook because they're 50 years old and they're chasing their grandchildren. Wow, isn't that interesting? I wonder how we could get to them on Facebook. Maybe our message wasn't relevant. Maybe our geographical segmentation was not done correctly. What do you think? And and then you can do an A/B test and just spend a tiny bit of money. As you know, you don't have to break the bank on Facebook always.
Absolutely perfect. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love how you think. So can you give maybe a case study or an example? I always love to hear these of maybe a company that you've worked with and you've shown them how they can actually grab some market share, recover from whatever's happening, and get some influx into their business?
Yeah. I'll pick I'll pick a cybersecurity company
Okay.
we worked for, and it was very interesting. I'm very passionate. One of the tools that's in everybody's toolbox that doesn't get used enough is win-loss analysis. So people rely on their salespeople for customer insight as to why they won or why they lose. And most salespeople will say they lost on price because that's the easiest answer for the customer to give you so that you will go away when they've selected another buyer. So we were working for this cybersecurity company, had a really good product. They were $15,000 more than their competitor. And they got a new market entrant. Dell had come onto the market with a cybersecurity offering. They were $15,000 cheaper. And so the sales force came back and said, well, we're losing on price. We got to lower the price. And the CEO was just getting beaten down. And he said to me, I think we ought to lower the price. And I said, no, time out. We don't have any data. We don't have any facts. We don't have any insight. So, yeah, but the sales force is giving us all this loss analysis. That's one data point. Your sales force is one input. So we did a win-loss analysis in independent, like third party, and just said the confidential interviews done by, whatever. And we did about a dozen of them. And what we learned was the clients liked our product better. They loved our features. We didn't have a product roadmap. And Dell was selling this really great product roadmap that said, here, we're going to take you into the future and beyond, and going with that company is really risky because, they knew we didn't have a product roadmap. So that tiny little insight changed everything because we could quickly mobilize our CTO. We could get videos made. We could get a white paper written. We can train our sales force. And we could preemptively set the stage for, we have this fabulous product roadmap and insight, and here's what we're doing. Guess what? Win rate went way up. We didn't reduce our price. We left it as a premium, solution in the marketplace. And we were able to recover and drive, our market share.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I actually asked you because that is such a great story. And I constantly think that businesses pivot because they don't have enough data and they go, oh, that's it. And boom, they're down some other rabbit hole. So I love how you get them to stop and to slow down. And I love that. I really love that. I'm curious, how can people find you, get in touch with you, follow you? We'll keep going, but I want those who are ready and saying, I've got to learn more about Karen to find out how they can do that.
Yeah, I'm at Hayward at chiefoutsiders.com. That's KHAYWARD at chiefoutsiders.com.
Perfect. And they can buy your books, I'm guessing, Amazon?
You can buy my book, Stop Random Acts of Marketing, on Amazon. And I also have a telephone, and I actually do answer my telephone. And so you can also call me at 650-823-4292.
I want to make a point of saying that the phone, I think, is the most underutilized tool. It amazes me that people think everything has to be done on, either Zoom or in person or emails or social media. I'm a huge person just like you on the phone. I'm an advocate of the phone. I actually love my telephone. I love when my telephone rings and I get to talk to a new person. I love to talk to people on the phone. And sometimes for me, taking away the webcam feature and just allowing myself to really be in tune and be present and hear what someone's saying and listen underneath the words without distraction can make a big difference. So, wow, thank you for that. Thank you for even giving out your phone number. That's amazing. That's awesome. All right, now I want to go a little bit deeper. So let's say I'm a CEO of a company. I'm listening, I'm watching our interview, I'm kind of interested. And I heard at the beginning that any cash is king may not be exactly correct. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think CEOs really ought to focus on a strategy to grow their business. And I'll give you one simple example. We worked with a mid-market company and selling industrial equipment. And if you look at their customer base, so we took, and every CEO should do this, especially if you're B2B, you take your biggest customer all the way down to your smallest customer, and then you chart them across the x-axis on how much potential do they have to grow with you. So then you find in this lower left-hand quadrant all these little ankle biter customers that are getting the same customer service as your big opportunity accounts, that are consuming more customer service. They don't have time, they don't have the ability to grow, and yet we're spending all this time. They're more needy typically than even some of the bigger clients. And so segmenting your customer base allows you to see where your market opportunity really is. And so you can take actions on the small customers that really can't grow with you. You can raise your prices. You can give them your new trainees for customer support. You can milk them, milk strategy. And then you can put growth strategies in for the ones that are still smaller but have potential to grow. And then your very large clients on the upper right-hand side of that quadrant, you can say, okay, I got to do two things here. Those are my biggest, best clients. What do I have to do? I have to protect them. And I really don't want to rely on a single salesperson to own that relationship. So what do I do there? So there are all kinds of things you can do to mitigate a single face in front of your biggest and best clients. And so when I say, cash is different, I mean, all that time you spend on that lower quadrant with no opportunity to grow, you just need to take a price increase, and have them decide to, and you can take big price increases with those clients. And then invest that money into the accounts that really can grow. So to be very thoughtful, very deliberate, and very strategic.
I love the way you think. I love how it's not only thinking that's logical, it is very, very strategic thinking. It is the kind of thinking that I believe we need today, because so many people, for whatever reasons, are in a place where they need to recover. They need to get their business back rebuilt. They need to get it relaunched. They may even need to rebrand it. And the time to do that is immediately. However, what I see most people doing is just taking actions without any kind of strategic plan, without any kind of a process laid out, and they're just taking a lot of action. And I'll share with you and see what you think about this. My concern is all of these businesses just all of a sudden thinking, I'm just going to advertise everywhere. I'm going to take all of these marketing actions without a plan, without a strategy, actually are going to use up cash faster and may not be able to recover. What do you think about that?
Well, I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on. There's just two mindsets at play when you talk about recovery, right? There's the mindset, I'm just going to hunker down. I'm just going to get through this. Things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. And then there's the other CEO who says, okay, where can I pivot to a customer need that is not being met? What are my competitors doing? So let me give you an example.
Right.
There's a tool out there, because I want to leave your listeners and viewers with some good tools.
Oh.
So there's a tool called SpyFu, SPYFU. And SpyFu allows you to go in and look at what's happening in the digital landscape with your competitors. So because the world has just accelerated in terms of its digital, people are shopping more digitally now, right? Like, it used to be we would go into a car dealership and buy a car. Nobody goes into a dealership until they know the car, the make, the model, the price, and every feature they want. Then they go to the dealership. All of our research is being done online. So businesses need to know what the heck is going on online. So what do? They just look at their own Google Analytics. So if you get 100,000 visitors to your site, Terri, and your competitor gets 1 billion, even though you grew 10%, you're just like not even in the game. Right? So you have to know where you stand relative to, the people who could have other choices. So understanding your competitors, where are your competitors getting their traffic from? So to your Facebook question, I would say to that CEO, oh, look, our biggest competitor is getting most of their traffic to their website from Facebook, right? Data. So you get the digital landscape and you start to understand how you're faring, with your competitors. You can steal all their strategies, right? You can see what's working for them, and you can start to build your own, plan going forward. Okay, I want to improve this much. I need to move more from paid ads to organic search, because that should always be your goal, is to have really strong or organic growth in your website. And then another tool that your listeners and viewers can use is called Website Grader. So it's website.grader.com, and it's a HubSpot tool.
Oh,
and it's free, because if it's free, it's for me. So you can go on there and you can get a complete analysis of your website and how it's performing, and get the structure of your website. Is it secure? Is it mobile? And at the bottom of that report, it will tell you all the things you need to do to fix your website.
Wow, that's an incredible resource. I didn't even know about that one. Thank you.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, I have to say thank you all the way around. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work that you do. You've given so much value, so many tips, so many tools, kind of secrets and hints. I appreciate it, Karen. Tell people one more time where they can find you, hang out with you, call you, and pick up a copy of your book, please.
So my book is on Amazon, Stop Random Acts of Marketing. You can reach me at Hayward, HAYWARD, at chiefoutsiders.com. And you can phone me. Yes, you can phone me at 650-823-4292.
Thank you so much. You have just been a wealth of information. And I think that whenever someone is hearing this or watching this, this is that piece of information that they didn't even know they needed, that they need. So thank you again for joining us, Entrepreneur Radio and TV, Karen.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Terri.
You're welcome. And just to sum up for our listeners and viewers, so yes, I started by saying there's a piece of something that you need. And I'm going to add the word piece, and I'm going to add it differently this time. PEACE, peace. You can be more at peace with yourself. You can be more at peace with your business growth, cash, as long as you are constantly feeling in alignment with your business. Am I feeling that I'm taking the right actions based on data and knowledge? Do I still feel passion for what I'm doing and serving the customers, the clients, the patients that I'm serving? So take a moment out of your day-to-day and just ask yourself, what did I get here today? What missing piece did I get? And how can I and my business have greater peace? Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Entrepreneur Radio and TV.
You've been listening to Entrepreneur Radio, maximizing your personal and business results by leading with your heart, with your host, Terri Levine. This show is produced every week for your enjoyment and education. To make sure you never miss a single show, add us to your favorite RSS feed or subscribe in iTunes. You can also read Terri's latest blog posts at www.heartrepreneur.com/blog or follow Terri on Twitter at MentorTerri. and on Facebook.com/Heartrepreneur Terri Levine. Your questions and comments are always welcome and appreciated. Send them to Terri on either Facebook or Twitter. Thank you for listening.